Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the American Turkish Friendship Association and the Rumi Forum, welcome. My name is Jenna Ludke. I'm a director at the Rumi Forum, a co-sponsor of this evening's event. I will be your host for the remainder of the program. The annual Dialogue and Friendship Dinner is a tradition that brings together individuals and communities of different backgrounds, races, ethnicities, and faiths, in an effort to emphasize the importance of living together in one pluralistic community, in the spirit of friendship and love. The theme of this year's Dialogue and Friendship Dinner is the art of living together in a diverse world. This is also the theme of an art and essay contest organized by the American Turkish Friendship Association in the Mid-Atlantic region, 15 cities to be exact. The artists and essayists are high school students from these 15 cities. The art on display in the corridor are from the students in Northern Virginia. We hope you are able to view these wonderful pieces as you arrive this evening. But if you have not, please do so, and they are not to be missed. What is very special about this contest is that it has asked these high school students to address issues in their respective communities of poverty, climate change, and social cohesion. And later this evening, we will be awarding the winner of this contest from the Northern Virginia region, so stay tuned. I would like to introduce Emre Çelik to the stage. He is the president of the Rumi Forum, and he will give welcoming remarks. Please welcome him.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Rumi Forum and the American Turkish Friendship Association, I want to welcome each and every one of you. Our theme this evening is the art of living in diverse communities. And I think what a better place than Fairfax to be able to host such an event. We have, by virtue of our partnership with the American Turkish Friendship Association, over the last dozen or so years bringing communities together around the table for them to share their stories on diversity and pluralism. But beyond such dialogue, beyond such discourse, it's very important for us as diverse communities to come together in the practical sphere and work in improving our communities at large. Most recently, the American Turkish Friendship Association, along with the assistance of the Rumi Forum, as well as numerous local organizations, including various counties, has started and is continuing, I believe, for another week or so, a blanket drive for the Syrian refugees in Turkey. So it's such activism, such service that we encourage, such dinners we believe are a first step. I encourage you to stay in touch with both respective organizations. It's important to be in dialogue, but it's also to be in dialogue through service as well. I thank you for your attendance this evening. I look forward to furthering the dialogue with each and every one of you. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you.
And now, I would like to ask the Honorable Robert Lazaro Jr., the mayor of Purcellville, Virginia, to come to the stage.
One way or the other. As the mayor of Purcellville, it's my honor to join with you this evening to share some thoughts about a trip that I had the opportunity of a lifetime to take to visit Turkey and some of the things that we saw, the culture, the folks, the food. my next life I'm going to open a Moto ice cream store, hopefully in Virginia, and do very well like many of these entrepreneurs in Turkey. Good evening, and thank you for the opportunity to join with you tonight. The genius and strength of America is found in our national motto, which was first proposed in 1776, which is E pluribus unum, from many one. And as America has struggled to obtain that more perfect union as described by Abraham Lincoln, we're blessed and fortunate as a nation to have witnessed great progress to the folks of many faiths joining together. It was men and women of faith early on who led our country from the evil of slavery and segregation, who fought the Jim Crow laws that made second-class citizens of many. It was not too long ago these brave soldiers, dogs, and fire hoses. My home county of Loudoun did not desegregate schools until 1968, not too long ago for a guy my age, and I'm 55. My own grandfather and his brothers were very successful businessmen at the turn of the last century in the clothing business in New York. But it wasn't until the Bertotto brothers changed their name to a somewhat ethnically nondescript name did they succeed. And while we have made substantial progress in many areas, we must remain vigilant and willing to talk and work together to fight against those who would use the new tools of violence, whether it's graffiti on mosques, temples, or churches, or anonymous hate speech that seems so prevalent on the internet today. As Paul teaches us in Romans, we should not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Our community, Northern Virginia, is almost as diverse as New York City was at the turn of the last century. Our population in the region grows by some 500,000 people a year, every 10 years, as we are a beacon of freedom and opportunity. We must see this diversity as a great strength. Otherwise, we will not succeed as a region, as a state, or a nation. That is why events such as this, promoting diversity and dialogue, are important to the community in which we live, work, and love. And sitting down and talking with each other does not mean we give up our core beliefs, but are willing to understand what others believe. Most recently, I had the opportunity as a part of a group to visit Turkey with the ATFA. I very much enjoyed the culture, the incredible history of the country, the food, but most importantly, the people. It was an opportunity to share and to learn. And despite the language barrier, we were similar in many ways: love of God, our home countries, our families, and the understanding that we are here on this earth to make a positive difference. As my late father would say, actions speak louder than words. One aspect of our trip touched me and my colleagues, some who are here tonight from Northern Virginia, very deeply. We visited a refugee camp in Adana, some 120 miles from the Syrian border. It's hard to understand, to fathom all that these men, women, and nearly 7,000 children in this one camp alone went through to arrive at this point. It's not as if there are warring nations, it's their home government bombing and shelling their home communities. To keep true of our different faiths and beliefs, we have begun a blanket drive in Northern Virginia, which folks have referenced here tonight, which culminates this Friday, to help provide every man, woman, and child in that camp a blanket for the winter months. The response has been overwhelming, and I am hopeful to be able to return to the camp to help distribute the blankets. As the mayor of a small town in western Loudoun County, our population is less than 8,000. There is little that I can do to solve the geopolitical problems of the world. But I do know that I can keep true to my faith and to help others who are my brothers and sisters in their time of need, regardless of their beliefs. It is through this action, this dialogue, we collectively can make for a better region, state, nation, and world. I thank you for your attention and for all that you do to make our community a great place to live, do business, and raise a family. In conclusion, I'd just like to take this opportunity to congratulate all the students who participated in the art contest for all your good work. Really a job well done. Again, thank you very much for having me here this evening.
Ladies and gentlemen, we'll now take a moment out of the program to honor the winner of this year's contest, art contest and essay contest. And her name is Noor Demaroz. Please welcome her. And please come to the stage, member Kenneth Plum, and he is the Virginia House delegate of the 36th District, and he will present Noor with her award. I'd like to now please ask Karina Korrestelina, who is an associate professor and director of the program on history, memory, and conflict at the School for Conflict Analysis and Resolution at George Mason University. She is also serving as the chair of the Peace Culture and Communication Commission of the International Peace Research Association.
Good evening. It's really honor to be here today. The only thing I'm missing is good baklava. And everybody knows the best baklava in this small two-store shop near the railway station, right, in Istanbul. So let me start with three statements. Diversity leads to conflict. Morality is a foundation for peace. And dialogue starts when people come together. Now, let me show why they are wrong. And they are wrong for several places. Let's start first with the idea of diversity. Diversity itself represents multiplicities of views, represents multiple identities, represents multiple experiences. And research around the globe shows that diversity itself leads to conflict only in 4% of cases. So why then people are in conflict? What are foundations for conflict? Why it's happening? And the answer for is this duality of identities. When our multiple identities, which we all have, transformed into duality of us and them. And it's happening in many cases, but it's happening gradually. First, we start using stereotypes about other people, we start comparing us and them, and then through different processes, we start developing threat narratives. They did something to us through the history, we try to justify what we did to them, and the whole history become not a set of events, but become the whole history becomes a real belief in who are our enemies, who are our allies, and it defined what are international relations or relations between groups are. So history, probably in this situation, is not something which connected with the past, not even something connected with the present. History oriented for future, because it has very strong normative definition. It is history which actually provides us ideas what should be done, what we do to others, how we behave toward others. And in this situation, this duality of us and them really leads to conflict. So what we do? Let me take another statement, statement number 2. Morality is foundation for peace. Actually not, because morality not always good. When we create dual morality of us versus them, what we do, we create moral boundary where everything is good is in our side and everything is evil on other side. And when you go beyond the boundary or outside boundary of your morality, values are not working there. So everything which is good in your group is completely bad in other group. And it's also morality, because you still believe that you're a moral person, you still believe in good values and ideas, but they just do not go beyond the boundary which you already established. So what to do? Let me take statement number 3. Dialogue starts, then people come together. No. Dialogue starts that you start looking into yourself first. You're not ready to dialogue until you make change within yourself. You could not sit on the table with the people if you think they're evil. You could not sit with the table with the people if you use historic narratives to justify your own violence and you blame them in all these events. So first, you really have to produce change within yourself. And this is the foundation for dialogue. And Gulen also, why I'm really pleased to work with Rumi Forum and participate in the events, because I'm Western scholar working with Western theories, and what Gulen is doing is providing wonderful foundation, very interesting ideas how to enrich already existing Western theories, and how we can come to dialogue through changes, first of all, who we are, to bring peace and love into our soul first. And then, only after that, we are ready to come and sit together in this. We really have to destroy this moral boundary which we develop and include these people again back into the moral boundary of us. In this situation, dialogue will be successful. And Gulen providing great ideas about how we go step by step through changing ourselves, through finding common goals, common ideas, common values, and how we can create peace together as our overarching goal. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karina. And now, for our final speaker of the evening, Scott Wheatley. He is the president of the organizational structure in Central and Western Fairfax County of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. Please welcome him to the stage.
It's an honor to be with you. I want to thank the American Turkish Friendship Association and Rumi Forum for providing me this opportunity and tell you a little bit about, I think, why I'm here. Upon the return of the delegation who visited Turkey, my good friend Mark Gibb, who is here, was on that delegation. He advised me that there was an effort being put together to collect blankets and send them to the refugees from Syria that are in Turkey. And that the Fairfax County government would like to use our meeting houses of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints as collection points. And so I reached out to some of my counterparts, and we have organized an effort that will happen this Saturday, where meeting houses in Alexandria, Franconia, Springfield, Fairfax, McLean, Oakton, I'm probably missing some here, Burke is included, that will receive box and load blankets to be shipped to Turkey. Word has gone out through the interfaith community. I'm a member of the Fairfax Interfaith Clergy Leadership Council, and word has gone out through them, as well as through the Fairfax County Government Office of Public Affairs. We do not know how many blankets we will receive, how many boxes we need, or how many trucks we will need on Saturday. We don't know how many volunteers we will need. So if you have nothing else to do on Saturday, please find one of these locations roll up your shirt sleeves, tell somebody while you're there, grab a blanket, put it in a box, and put it on a truck. I was interested to learn that one of the principles here, guiding principles, is that we share hopes and values. And it is a blessing, really, for us to join with you and the Fairfax community of government and clergy and faith, and I might add business. I would be remiss if I didn't mention Paxton Van Lines. They are playing a key role. They are providing trucks at each of these locations. They have donated boxes. They will take the donations back to their facility and consolidate them and transport all of the donations to the Port of Virginia to a destination yet to be determined. But they say, we will do it. And they are a wonderful business partner for this. I received an email yesterday from a woman, and she's a pastor of a Lutheran church, who asked, she mentioned that she had a comforter boxed and ready to donate and wanted to know where the closest donation point was for her. I think there are many stories like this that we will never hear all of them, but in her words I could tell the concern and the love that was in her heart for these people who are in need, because it really doesn't matter what religion they are or what language they speak or what their nationality is. If they need a blanket and we have a blanket, we should give it to them. That's what we believe. And I just would conclude that our religion teaches us, and I think this is a shared value, and that we should learn this wisdom, that when we are in the service of our fellow men, we are only in the service of our God. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, before we leave tonight, please do, if you would like more information on this blanket drive, please do come and talk to any one of us here this evening hosting you, and be happy to direct you to the nearest location. Exactly, pick up a flyer on your way out. Also, volunteers are needed if you'd like to volunteer, if you feel so moved. You know, we just came off of the Thanksgiving season, and now we're moving into the season of giving with the holidays coming. So if you feel so moved, please do contact one of us, pick up a flyer, and help. These things are desperately in need. So, all right, thank you very much for joining us this evening, and please do take a peek at the art. It's beautiful on your way out. Drive safely. Good night.